Jamaica.
Best decision.
Jamaica, a tourist destination, a country that many believes has no problem, an absolute paradise. But what is a paradise without the mind to enjoy it? Believe it or not, mental health has been stigmatized in Jamaica for generations, many believing that it does not matter. But enough is enough. That is what I said as I began this journey to break toxic generational cycles. So please join me as I discover my mental health in Jamaica.
Oh, you mean it don't subscribe yet? Oh, you mean it don't turn on the notification bell? Oh, you mean it don't like, share and comment? Oh, you mean it don't tell a friend them about Yaadman, Etan?
Yo, I mean people don't know say Yaadman Etan, and we are going to start off this journey into the Jamaican mental health. And I want to start here at my brethren's personal gym, Bruce Dash of Legacy Aesthetics. Alright, so my brethren Bruce, he's a personal trainer. He helps with weight gain, weight loss, getting in fitness, getting in shape, kickboxing, all of that. But most importantly for Bruce is a devout Christian. Alright, so you know what they say about mental health and how it is able to go hand in hand with physical health. That's what Bruce helps with, alright? Not to mention, Bruce is also had his own journeys and had his own fights and struggle with mental health. So when I go up to his gym, I'm going to talk to him real quick, alright? Maybe we can even get in on a little session. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Bruce Dash. Yo, welcome, brother.
Yeah, bro.
Doing good.
We're closer.
Hey, what?
We are trained today.
We doing what now?
Yeah, train.
Well, okay, all right.
I'm sure face.
Okay, oh, all right. We're trading. All right.
Yeah,
Train.
let's go.
All right.
Got you there.
All right. Cool.
Let's go, bro.
Legacy Aesthetics.
Come with the strength you have.
All right. Suppose we're not on.
Let's talk.
Gosh.
1, 2, 3. Go. 3. Go. Press. 2 more. Come on.
Come on, Yaadman. 400 pound your lift. So you move.
Press. Exhale now. Exhale.
Come on, 200 pound.
Here we go. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Up. Go. No. Press. Come on. Easy. Right, 1, 2, 3. Back. Again. Hands up. Ready. Hands up. All right. Hey. Okay. Nice. All right. Hey. Ready? 1, 2, 3. When I jump here, you go move off to the side, move up this side, but you go step in at the same time. So step into me, and just go across my face. So 1, 2, 3, right there,
Like that.
and then that's where you sweep me.
Oh, I'm learning something. Okay, so I sweep it here.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this again.
Step in. Boom. Right, you don't let go of this hand. Right, grab, secure this hand. Swing this leg around. Strap me with the other leg. Trap me.
Trap you.
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
And pull back.
And I get in the arm bar.
Hey.
All right.
Nice.
Right, my friend. Come on.
Nice step.
Hey, there we go. Woo. Boy, may I spit, Bruce? That's a long time I want to talk to you, brother. Alright? Yo, I'm good, I'm just here doing this documentary, and I want to talk about mental health in Jamaica. Right? And I know you have your own personal journey. I soon ask you about all of that, but I want to talk to you like where do you think what is the state of Jamaican mental health, especially, during this pandemic right now?
During the pandemic right now, the state of mental health, I've actually said before about how this pandemic just came out.
Yeah.
A lot of people can actually come out of it more stronger or weaker. So where I see it going as it regards to like the curfew, and there's so many people that have their eyes so fixed on the things down here to where it's like all they want to do is either party or go back to the old life. You hear it all the time. Oh, I want everything to go back to normal.
Right.
Considering the fact that we have to learn how to coexist with this thing. We don't know how long it's gonna last, and with the vaccines coming out and all these things, that doesn't mean that everything's gonna go back to normal. But we do have to learn how to coexist with it. And in that sense, when you are in a quarantine, confined to your home, or staying home at certain hours, the thing is that you want to utilize that time, actually reflect on yourself. I mean, how many breakups have you seen? How many marriages have you seen like disperse? How many, how many friends do you see part? How many people, roommates and stuff have just been separated because they've been in the same confined space? They don't address their own issues, especially with mental health. They don't take the time to look into themselves to find out, okay, maybe I need to actually not waste this pandemic and actually find something. And then there's a lot of strength that's come out of it. People have become more closer. People have become more closer. People have looked into themselves and actually have defeated and fought and conquered those battles with the battle of their own minds.
Right.
Even considering that, some people have lost their jobs, it even inspired them to start new businesses.
Right.
I mean, we've not seen so many new businesses start outside of that 2020 period.
Right.
So now 2021.
Okay, so talk to me, we're talking about businesses. Talk to me about your profession. Like what is all of this? What is Legacy Aesthetics?
Yeah. Well, Legacy Aesthetics is the gym that I was pretty much given. So for me, I started out training people when I was 16 years old in kickboxing until 18 years old. I wanted to fight professionally. That didn't work out, so I decided to get certified. I decided to get certified as certified personal trainer. I started my gym from that time. It was Awesomely Aesthetics at the time, and through the pandemic and the strength and the encounters that I've had with Jesus, like he pretty much gave me a different change of perspective. Like I'm one of the people that I can say have come out stronger from this pandemic and how much everything has evolved. So I offer weight gain, weight loss, MMA, kickboxing, and just general, overall fitness. And because I've took the time, even before the pandemic, being my own quarantine before this whole quarantine thing actually came out. Right. This whole current quarantine thing came out, and actually I've encountered and like being a better person so that I can then not just manifest it to others, but actually show them how it's so much different. So the whole vibe of Legacy Aesthetics is different to where, it's not just feeding your body, it's feeding your soul and your spirit.
Right.
We have three parts: body, soul, and spirit.
Right.
And when we are regular gym or regular trainers, not knocking any regular trainers or anything, but they focus so much on the body and the aspect, using fitness itself as a coping mechanism for whatever it is that you're going through. So considering the fact that they use fitness to cope with whatever it is that they're going home back to the same issues, and the only thing it did was give you an endorphin high release for 1 to 2 hours, and that never solves the problem.
I saw a flyer over here that says the mind governs the body.
The mind governs the body.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So basically what you're telling me here is that this is not just a place of physical training,
right?
But it's also spiritual and mental training.
Spiritual and mental.
So what made you decide to do this in a place like Jamaica?
In a place like Jamaica? Well, first and foremost, born and grown in Jamaica.
Well, yeah.
Right? So, I mean, you could... The thing is, there's so much out there for me as certified as an international personal trainer. So I actually could use my certification to go anywhere that I want. But the need and the love that I have for this country, and how there is a general need for not just physical health but mental health, and it's just like our anthem is like Jamaica land we love. I love my country. I don't think I would ever move anywhere else, maybe for a season, but I'd never actually leave here because this is home to me.
And do you mind briefly telling us about the battles that you've had with your mental health?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's something that I use as a testimony to share to others. So what happened to me was, grew up in a really grew up in a nuclear family for a period of time till I was about 7. My parents then split. That affected me to where that was my first encounter with, that I can remember, even like just now, just thinking about, that was my first encounter with depression. I mean, you know, as people who have gone through children that have gone through seeing their parents split, you know, you go from seeing mommy and daddy every day to now you're being moved from this place to that place, and considering the fact that you are moved from that place, I had to be put then into child psychology at a very, very young age, right? Until it was like, I don't really remember what happened, but that was pretty much it. And then later on, you know, with not growing up with my mom being around, you know, my mom is, you know, she's been living in a different parish. She's living in St. Anne, you know, she's starting her like new pharmacy, you know, right now, Etan family pharmacy. Yes, right. And she's been there, so I had to stay here with my dad. No, I completely like love, I adore, I respect my father for every single thing that he's done for me. Me and him have had, just because I've overcome my own battles of everything that I was going through, we've grown in that personal, that closer relationship and that bond, you know. But the reality of it was, when I was growing up, I felt emotionally, verbally abused, and even sometimes physically abused. Not like he beat me, like abused me, but you know, growing up in the place of fitness, you know, it wasn't necessarily like, yo man, I get the belt and swap. It's like, yo, you go upstairs and you're gonna do some training. You're going to throw 100 front kicks, or you're going, you know. And you know, he did that to mold and shape me into what he perceived that I should be. And there's also the fact that he's very old school. The fact of the matter is that we grew up in a generation, a certain generation. Our parents grew up in a different generation, and what they're doing is going to take the lessons that they learned from the father and the father's fathers and bring it into this current generation. Now, the fact that they brought in this current generation, I grew up a particular way. So I grew up seeing my father project certain frustrations, personas and stuff. So he had anger issues. Now, knowing that the reality of the world is that the world molds you and shapes it into who you perceive yourself to be. You know what I mean? It's that is not who you are, right? That's who you were, and that's what you learned through the culture and the world, right? Which is why it's so important to be born again, of spirit and of water, right? So considering that the mental illnesses I suffered from was really, really bad anger issues, like I was saying. I had really bad depression, you know, I was suicidal, and I used even addictions to cope with some of those tendencies, right? Not just training, but also addictions.
So let me ask you this. With what you went through before, did you feel in the past that as a Jamaican man, did you feel as if you could find a way to express yourself?
No, not at all. Because I grew up in the house where it's like, you're not okay, you're not allowed to cry. Right. You cry, you're a girl.
And what about now?
You're home. Oh no, I cry like a baby.
Okay.
You know?
That's good to hear.
Yeah, right. So I grew up in that house, that whole you can't show pain, you can't show pain, you watch 300 like you grew up like a Spartan. You don't show pain, you don't show your emotions, you do that, you're weak, or you're a girl, or whatever it is. So I grew up confined to my own self and in a prison of my own mind, when I didn't know all the while that I was sitting in the cage and I had the keys to open it.
So is there anything that you want to tell to the, you know, to our viewers, our Jamaican viewers, anybody who's watching this? We have international people here. You know, one of the things I really want to show to people is that, you know, Jamaica is not just a tourist destination. People are here living real lives. You know, is there anything that you want to tell people?
Well, first of all, Jesus Christ is Lord. All right. Second of all, like I was saying, the world is not what you perceive it to be. If you want to talk about Jamaica, we're not living in trees, okay? We actually have roads. We actually have different resources that you can use to cope with that mental health while we're on the topic, you know? And I mean, the reality for me is that just being born again, knowing that you have to be renewed in the spirit of your mind, right? Inwardly, you're being renewed day by day, not being conformed to the teachings of this world, but instead being transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that being said, your mental health is very, very important, but without the wrong spirit directing your mind in and of itself can ultimately lead to destruction. So, yeah, that's what I want to say.
Mind governs the body. That is a lesson that I took away from working out at Legacy Aesthetics. And with that being said, I decided to go one step further, and Bruce introduced me to an integrative psychotherapist.
So ladies and gents, I am here with Kareen Chung. What could you pronounce what you do, please?
I'm an integrative psychotherapist.
An integrative psychotherapist.
Yes.
Could you tell me what does that entail?
It entails me looking after the mental health of my clients. So it's the psychological well-being of them for talking therapy or diagnosing illnesses, those kind of things.
Okay, so where do you practice?
I practice in the UK, but now because of COVID, I've been working remotely across the world.
Okay, so does that mean that you have like clients from all over the world?
I do.
Ooh. Okay. So, as Jamaicans, right, you don't have to tell me, of course, because I understand, you can't tell me people's business. But, like, how do you find Jamaican clients?
Jamaican clients are very interesting. Interesting because I can understand that mental health issues or coming to therapy is very taboo here because, we've been taught not to look after our mental health.
Right.
We should be strong. But people have been open, not many, but a few have been open to exploring their mental health. So
if any Jamaicans out there right now who want to, who are interested in what you offer, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Heart to Heart Therapy, or on Facebook it's Heart to Heart Therapy.
Okay, all right, cool. So talk to me as it relates to mental health. What cases or what type of mental health issues do you see plague a lot of Jamaicans? Is there like a
The wider spectrum of thing is usually silence around emotions, especially men. Men are taught not to open up.
Yes.
Men are taught to be strong. Men are taught that they should be the leaders.
Yes.
And in a sense, they should just shut up. Yeah. So my job is to kind of make you know that it's okay to have emotions. It's a very human thing, and explore them. And name them.
Yeah, because so assuming based on what you said, you're saying that the females are easier clients to work with.
I wouldn't say they're easier. I'd say that they're more.
More.
Yeah.
I get you because man don't want to go to the doctor.
All right.
Understood. What type of solutions would you suggest for those for men out there who don't open up? Who feel as if they can't fully express themselves in this space?
My suggestion for that would be find a trusted friend. Make sure that your support group is people that you can trust, that you can talk to. There are different avenues. There are anonymous numbers that you can call if you have an emergency, like you don't know, you're having a panic attack. A lot of people think that panic attacks are just, you're hyperventilating. No, that's not it.
Yeah.
Anxiety comes in many forms. So when you're experiencing shortness of breath, you can just be sitting and it's called, you're just daydreaming. You can be experiencing anxiety because you're leaving the room. Your body is leaving, right? Your mind is leaving and your body is here. So there are things you can do, like called anonymous lines. You can speak to a trusted friend. Journaling is very important, I think, where you can just express yourself, close the book, and move on. Yeah, so that's an outlet that you can take. Exercise is important, looking after your physical health. And again, even though people may not look at therapy as something, you're paying somebody to listen to you. You're paying somebody to pay attention to your mind.
Yes.
So that is also very, very integral in healing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So recently, I have gained a lot of international followers. Right. A lot of these international followers look at Jamaicans and wonder like, why do we leave Jamaica? And wonder like why, our mental health is not in a better place, because from their perspective, they just see it as a tourist wonderland. I want to, show people that people here are actually living real lives, hard lives. Is there anything that you could let some of these people who may not know about Jamaica know about what's happening?
Well, Jamaica is a beautiful island, as you know. We have the beaches, we have the sunshine, we have all that good stuff. However, what I have noticed, because I was born here, I've noticed that Jamaica is classist. Yeah, so you have the uptown, downtown, middle class people. So poverty is huge, and that's not shown as much because it's not good for tourism, it's not good for whatever. But social media has shown us that there are different aspects of Jamaica. We aren't taught about looking after ourselves, therefore we portray ourselves to be this happy-go-lucky, nothing can bother us kind of people. Therefore our mental health deteriorates because we're denying parts of ourselves.
If I want a session, what do I do?
What, you can just email me at kareenchung@gmail.com, or you can look for me on Instagram at Heart to Heart Therapy.
Can I get a session right now?
Of course you can.
Alright, come in. I'm gonna come out of the room. Come in. We're doing this right now. Alright guys, so I'm back with Kareen, and we're going to be doing an actual session because I want to open up on camera to show you guys that this is real. These things actually exist in Jamaica, homegrown. Alright? So, my dear, take it away.
Okay, so, hello again.
Hello.
I know that you're new to this, so I'll tell you what I would do with a regular client. I know that confidentiality is something that we pride on, but it's being taped, so I know that
Yes.
it'll be out there, okay? So what I would usually say to my clients is, the confidentiality statement, anything that's said between us will be kept confidential unless you disclose you want to harm yourself, harm somebody else, child abuse, money laundering, terrorism, those kind of things.
Correct.
Yes, so we have 50 minutes between ourselves. If there's anything you want to know about me before we begin, don't hesitate to ask.
Okay.
If not, tell me about yourself, what brought you here, and what your expectations are of this session.
Okay, well, before I'd like to ask you, because there's a point in my life where I was actually, curious in the field of psychology. What brought you into this field?
I think the field kind of chose me because I started off as a, going to England, not having an idea of what I want to do, but always remembering that my friends say that, oh, you're a good listener, I feel comfortable with you, blah, 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 blah. And then I just said, okay, let me try something called counseling. So I trained to be a counselor. I did like level 2, loved it, then did level 3, loved it even more. So I pursued my bachelor's in counseling psychology. Then I liked it, but I wanted to go more deep. I wanted to go deeper into why people behave the way they behave and what I can do to facilitate their healing. So I chose psychotherapy.
Okay.
Right? So I did my master's in integrative psychotherapy, and here we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I love to hear these things because, being in this space, we feel as if it's not, paid. It's not. There's not enough attention.
Being
Right.
shown on it, and because it's something that's done privately, it's not really out there, and people don't talk about it as much because of the stigma attached to.
Right.
You're crazy.
Right.
If you see a therapist, then something must be wrong with you.
Right.
And so I have some friends that say, "Oh, how are your crazy clients today?" And I get so upset because.
Or their teeth is an updown thing.
Maybe, or it's just. Something must be wrong with them, nothing is wrong with me. They can't look at the mirror and say, oh, maybe I'm suffering from something.
Right.
Let me talk to somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what do I say?
Anything.
Alright, so I'm not going to include my entire therapy session in this video because this is a documentary and I need to watch for time. And this whole session is over an hour, well, almost an hour. I will upload the session separately as its own video for those who want to see that. I just really want to show you guys what therapy is like. This therapy session was a major part of my 2021. And this was a moment where I realized that I needed to take a break from making content. I needed to make content with a healthy fuel source. And I didn't have one.
It's the fuel that, and just hear me out, it's the fuel that she's no longer here. It's that fuel that keeps you going. Check it out. when something is built in trauma, then it isn't the most healthy thing to do.
Oh. It's almost as if it's one of those things where it's like that closure is out of your own control.
Yeah, so
You know?
you have to create your own.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Love you.
Okay. Thank you.
You did good.
Thank you. I'm going to dread uploading this, but all right.
And now we're heading to Halfway Tree because we're going to visit Teen Hub Jamaica in the bus park. This is a safe space for adolescents to come and access social and educational services.
Okay, so I'm here with Jerome Edwards of Teen Hub Jamaica. Sir, please talk to me. First of all, it's a pleasure to meet you in real life.
Yeah, because we did some work together.
Yes.
Virtually. Yeah.
So tell me, what exactly is Teen Hub?
Well, Teen Hub is a tripart partnership facility. It's a safe space for teenagers and adolescents starting ranging from 10 to 24. That's the age range. And what we do is provide a safe space for them to come essentially chill and build up vibes. That's it essentially. But other from that, we offer myriad of services, and these services, teens or adolescents can see them as resources. So one of the services that we offer is free HIV and syphilis testing. Free, you can come here and get free condoms, of course, over the age of consent, right? And you can do pregnancy tests. You can do mental health counseling, which will change it because of the stigma. We call it behavioral health counseling. We do STI referrals. We do family planning methods. We do printing for free, photocopying for free. We do resume building and resume writing for free. You can come here and use your computer or with free Wi-Fi. And all of those services are provided by 3 organizations or agencies, which is the Ministry of Health, or through the Ministry of Health, AIDS Healthcare Foundation, and also Ministry of Youth and Education. All that free, right here.
Interesting. Okay, thank you for that. So talk to me. What led you to this profession?
Good question. Good question. As a youngster growing up, I grew up in a vulnerable community. It's just a risk community.
Yes.
And growing up, I saw many of my friends being shot down by police, dying, passing off, do whatever, going to prison. But I knew that I was destined for something different, and I wanted to help people. So of course, social work is really a helping profession, and this is helping people at its largest. And if I can start somewhere, I started inside of my community by helping, putting on treats for young children, and giving back to the elderly. So I wanted to take it a bit further. I actually tried to become a soldier, but that never worked out.
Yeah.
So this was the next best of helping persons.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So of all the resources that you guys offer, I'm here, it's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah, absolutely.
I started this documentary to really dig into mental health in Jamaica. So based on the counseling aspect that you offer here at Teen Hub, how well perceived is that by?
Wow. First of all, if you have any mental illness in Jamaica or mental health problems in Jamaica, you are deemed as a mad person. You're a mad man, you're a mad woman.
Yeah.
What a mad little boy. And let's talk about before COVID.
Yes.
And how Jamaica sees mental health. So there's a stigma for mental health. I mean, the hospital is there and people say that the hospital is a mad place, a mad house. And it's not readily open for conversation. It's still taboo. It's taboo among groups, taboo among subgroups. So unless we can make that conversation open and free to talk about mental health, talk when you're stressed,
yes.
Talk when something is bothering you, and then really and truly talk about this part about gender. Because men are forced by the society not to talk when something is bothering them. Find some other way to let it out. I want to cut out from that really and truly, so young people can now use this avenue to get help as it relates to counseling. Because working here, I've seen some things that young people trying to hurt themselves, physically hurt themselves, mentally hurt themselves, everything, because they can't deal with coping with issues and stress. Let me tell you about this that we're doing. About last year, early COVID, I did a survey about mental health, dealing with COVID at home, and approximately over 60% of adolescents are the age range of 16 to 21, so they don't like being at home. So even the restrictions just kick in and everybody stay at home. So over 60% of them don't like being at home. They don't want to stay there.
Yes.
And this can be for a different reason. It can be that their abuser is at home. It can be that they're not getting the right treatment at home. They're being mentally abused, physically abused, emotionally abused. So it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah. And would you even know that you're working in this position? Would you say that Jamaica as a whole prioritizes their mental health?
Well, right now the priority is COVID.
Well,
but this is one of the facilities that the government of Jamaica put in place for adolescents to deal with their mental health. And to take it a step further, at every government health center in Jamaica, right? So every parish is split up in different regions. So at every region health center, there is a number or a department there for mental health, right? And then there's child guidance clinic that also provide mental health to young persons as well. So it's a priority, but are we using the facility? We as Jamaicans, we're not using it because again the stigma is attached to mental health. Yeah, it's a priority in Jamaica, and it's definitely a big priority because we're not a first world country.
Right.
We deal with pressure different.
Right.
You know, tourists will come and say, you know, Jamaica, it's all nice and laugh, everybody laugh and everything. But behind that laugh, when you go back to yourself and you start look about the things that you have to do as it relates to providing for your family or even making a decision, a simple decision, it really stresses out some people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and I noticed you brought this up before, but can you talk about the disparity when it comes to men versus women using these facilities?
All right. So basically, we have more young girls facilitating are seeking for the help.
Yes.
So let me tell you, I have a CUG, right? That CUG doesn't turn off, and because of our work, we try to answer as soon as possible. So, you know, I was sleeping and before you know it, a picture comes to the phone. That was a picture of somebody cutting them hand. And right there and then at 2 a.m. in the morning, I had to deal with that issue, right? I had to sacrifice sleep. That's not important. This is important. And then refer to the young person to the child guidance clinic where she can talk to a psychologist. So we as social worker here, we're seen as a first responder. So if this week you come to Tino and you're hype and you're hip and you're talking, and then next week you come here down, you know, you don't want to talk to nobody, right there and then you tell you that something is wrong with you. So then start a conversation. How are you doing? Boys will not talk. They will not talk right away. Males will not talk right away. They will put it off some joke, some weird stuff or something. But a girl will directly break down and tell you what is happening. Whether something is happening in the home, something at school, some friends, some family member, they will tell you directly. But boys, it takes like a 2 weeks. So you talk to them this week, you see them again, you talk to them next week, or you see them a 2 day, you talk to them, and then finally get down to them. And then it's really how you approach it as well. But definitely, females definitely reach out more than the males. Yeah. And that's something that we have to change as well.
Yes.
We have to change the conversation.
And how do you propose we change that conversation?
Education is really the key. Yeah. And I'm not talking about reading a book and just getting away some of the myths that surround mental health.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So somebody say if you not talk about it, if you talk about it, it's seen as weak. You know, you can't be a man. You have to hold it machine. No, hold it. Talk about it, because the more you talk about it, the more you can get help and deal with your situation. So we have to change that conversation.
Yes. And
how we change that is education, educating people about, you know, having that conversation about freely talking when something is wrong with you. We have to start somewhere. And having this team up is starting that conversation.
Yes. Jerome, thank you for your time, boss.
Respect.
Don't worry, we're sanitized on camera, alright?
You see, the thing about mental health, it is something that we have to manage at every moment of every day, including when we go to work. So I'm speaking to Suewana Malcolm-Wright of Transformative Solutions, who aims to make good employees into extraordinary ones.
All right, first of all, thanks for having me. Well, as you said, I'm Suewana Malcolm-Wright, and I am a counselor, and I'm also the founder of Transformative Solutions. My background lies within counseling, where I would provide therapeutic care for victims of crime. So I have 10 years of more than 10 years of experience. My journey began in 2007 as a guidance counselor, transition to helping persons, to retrain and to re-socialize, to go back into society, to function, whether in the capacity of a student or, an employee or an ordinary citizen.
First question for you is, why did you choose this profession?
All right. As you know, in Jamaica, counseling is really a new phenomenon. I always have a passion for persons who are, who need someone to advocate for them. Persons who need a voice. And I'm very determined, very, very determined. And I saw where I could make a change in that area. So having the opportunity, to go to university, focus on social work, focus on the social well-being of individuals, I was led to, advocate for victims of crime. And it's really something I enjoy doing, right? I'm a planner. I am a planner, and I think that persons who are actually seeking some form of mental health guidance, they need a holistic approach, and it takes a lot of planning to get them back to where they ought to be. So choosing this profession with the fact that I have certain qualities that would complement exactly what people need, yes, I was led to go after that. But counseling is a new phenomenon, and I understand that. Hence the reason why I decide to stay in the profession. It's growing, and I want to grow, and I want to impact change.
Okay. I won't ask you for any personal sessions that you've had with anybody, because I know, confidentiality is an important thing.
Confidentiality is key, right?
Absolutely key. So I'm just going to ask you about anything that you can tell me and anything that you're willing to tell me, legally, of course. I want to ask you, what do you think the general state of mental health in Jamaica is?
As I said to someone the other day, even the counselor needs a counselor, right? Especially in such a changing time. It's so uncertain. When you go, if you should probably take your phone up and you look, everyone is going through something, whether the loss of a loved one, whether, a loss of a job, right? With mental health in Jamaica, though, as I said, there's a stigma. Once you speak of mental health, you're mad. I can't believe said a boy over the saw go mad, right? But little did they know that if you even wake up and you feel anxious about the day, it's really a mental health situation. So I know that the term is very frightening, hence the reason why persons tend to run away. If you should go into another culture, probably US, you realize that persons rarely use whatever help they can get. So for men, we find that more women are actually seeking help than men. Right. And I know it has a lot of cultural barriers. Right. And for women, they take the time out to probably do some research, to be educated, as well as I find that women get a little bit more support and they're being led a little bit more than the men. So it's something that I have observed as a counselor, and it is something I try to work at. I also help persons to understand that, it's not because you're mad, it's not because you're crazy why you're seeking help. You're seeking help, and it's just like you talking to a friend. But here you are now speaking to someone with experience and expertise in the area who can give you that level of guidance. Because Etan, you remember back then before you have counselors so rapidly available, you would have to go to the pastor or the mature person in your community to talk to. Coming to someone with experience, expertise, and having probably a base that can facilitate their needs. But in Jamaica, we have programs, but sometimes our programs are lacking, whether lacking certain substance, or we invest, but we don't execute, or we don't stick to, we're not consistent with the programs. Also, education is lacking. We need to do more educating to help persons to understand that the doors are open, come get help. It's important before you reach the medication point or you start having further issues. So that is one of the challenges that we are having in Jamaica. And I can tell you, persons have invested in programs, but there are no consistency, and that's the issue. And there are no, probably, how they're executed, right, how they are being put out there. But we find that our men, they need to, probably we need to have a campaign reaching out to our men to let them know that you can come too. But we find that our women, they seek help readily than our men.
It's hard to find people who will listen and empathize. I'm glad that we can talk about the issues of men seeking help.
And just to add though, Etan, that is why I always say to my client, are you comfortable with your counselor? What would you prefer? Would you prefer a male counselor? So I don't hold on to clients. If someone needs a male, I take them to it. Hence the reason why I enjoy my job so much. Because, as a male, you may want to speak with a male who you think that will understand where you're coming from, where you're going. Because with helping persons, you first need to understand where they are. How
right.
did they get there? Right? You need to be able to see their reality. So with counseling, we have to give persons the opportunity to even select their counselors, to select the sort of help that they get, because that can be useful in getting more persons to buy into getting help to deal with their mental issues.
So could you tell me, why do you think mental health is so stigmatized in Jamaica?
Because of the whole culture of once you have a problem, you're mad.
Yo, welcome people that we don't know, say Yaadman, Etan, and right now we are back in downtown Kingston. What I'm doing downtown, I'm asking the people, the Jamaican people, how they deal with stress and mental health management. While I was downtown, I met somebody who was very eager to give an interview, and his name was
Skilly Bang, East Side Porter. They hear that, is it?
A Skilly Bang this?
Yeah, man, is it, man? East Side. I'm to your East Side bad every day. Car accelerate. Anywhere we go for them. Champion. East Side.
All right, so ladies, talk to me. I thought I'm out here, I talk to the people that about mental health and stress management.
Can I say something about mental health in this country, in my opinion?
Of course, sure. Ladies, how do you cope with stress?
Drinking, of course.
How you cope with stress, my friend?
It depends.
Okay, so talk to me. Say, for example, you have man problem. What do you do?
Cry. Me not cry. Me I drink. Me I have fun. Me I find other friends to go with.
I became a Muslim in England. How I learned Islam, we don't really deal with stress. Because we give Allah is the greatest. So we give everything to Allah, but we don't really, depression and stress and things like that. For me, I don't really deal with it because what I do is just, I go down on my knees and I pray to God and whatever I'm going through in life, some people might call it stress, depression, whatever they call it. I would pray and pray and pray, fast and pray. So I feel Jamaica, I know that Jamaica failed to deal with the people who are ill in this country, who are going through stress and depression, or whatever they call it. The government of this country failed.
Just trust God and live. And when you feel it, just go down for me and pray about it.
How you deal with stress? How you cope with stress?
Alright, you see me now in life, stress, my number one figure for stress is rum. That drawn away my stress. First again.
Ganja too?
Ganja is the main key of life.
What?
It's the main key of life.
Yeah.
You cannot left it.
Right.
Herbs is the main key of life.
Right.
So in a sense, and you have stress.
Yeah.
If you can't help your stress in drinking, smoking, or work your stress, you got every day you got have stress, mental stress. And listen to me, for me I tell you why me cannot stress.
Yeah.
Because I know about stress.
Yeah.
In my life, I lose my mother from me a level. You understand me?
Yeah.
Yet still I never go eat out a rubbish bin.
Yeah.
Never turn madman.
Yeah.
My day I still a chad on earth. You hear that?
Yeah.
Back to where me I say. Why me drink and smoke? It ease a lot of stress. Because I could have the wrong thing.
True.
You hear that, my killer? Watch you now. In our next sense, some man drink and turn junkie.
Yeah.
You hear that? We drink and hold meds and firm. You hear that, my killer?
Yeah.
As what me I say.
Yeah.
It liquid stress, drown your stress. My drinking drown my stress.
Yeah.
So in our sense, my drown stress.
Yeah.
You overs me?
Overs.
Yeah.
Overs.
So therefore, I don't have no stress in life. Oh, me angle life, how it fi angle, you understand me in a sense again. So if you go put yourself in stress, you go stress. So the more your mind free, less stress. You understand me? So figure it out. Oh, me for stress then.
Yeah.
Look into what me I say.
Yeah.
Me can't stress.
Yeah.
Oh, Bobby, me live with my woman in a Bobby.
Yeah.
I watch you at the end of the day. A man for know what him for do. You see it? The more you do, the less stress.
Yeah.
The less you do, the more stress.
Yeah.
So in a sense, when you do the thing them, you don't have stress.
Yeah.
So as a man, you know what you have to do for less stress.
Yeah.
So in a sense again, me don't have any stress. So if me have a stress, me just drink some the weed of life.
Yeah.
And it blew away, drink away my stress.
Okay, so talk to me. You feel as a Jamaican man, tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Would you say that you are in touch with your emotions?
In touch.
Yeah, like you're afraid to talk the things like say.
No.
I say like, you know, you're
No.
drinking, you smoke, but you're afraid for like, alright, cause you're talking about your woman, for example, like.
So, that for sure, yo,
Yeah.
far ago.
Yeah.
I never scared to talk. Anything I'm tell you right now, I want to go on in my life.
Yeah.
So why am I scared to talk?
Well,
So, a real thing me I tell you, Bobby, how your anger stress, it
Yeah.
all lead back to the point where you come to.
True.
Listen to me, you have some man with them stress, them go do f***ery.
Yeah.
You have a next sense, a man with drink away him stress, smoke away him stress, more than him go do problem.
Yeah.
So, are you build stress to yourself if you want stress?
Yeah.
The only way you're not stress, alright, the only way you're stressing, Bobby, unless you say you want stress, Bobby. You know what to do. Alright, you smoke, you drink, have a vibes, have a cool out, breeze a stress there.
Alright.
But if you have it on your head every day, you're going to stress.
Alright.
You have to stress, big man. No way stress is going to leave you, and you have that topic on your head every day.
Alright.
Look into what me I say.
Alright. Yo, I respect the interview, you know, but I have one more question, you know. What you say? Your name Skilly?
Yeah, man, inside.
Yo, give me a drop in a Yaadman, my name. I just want a quick little drop, Skilly.
From them say, yo, a gunshot, you hear that? Slam 4 in a salamite mouth. Oh, Skilly bang inside, you hear that? Like the glow. Brrr. You hear that? This man clear place, oh. Anywhere we go for them, care what? Accelerate. Bam, 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 bam. Inside Lucky Road.
Respect, brother. Respect.
Alright, here we have a Jemar McFarlane.
Well gone, Chief.
Yes, I'm good. What is this?
Sing good?
We're just there.
You're just there.
Yeah. Is what it's like being friends with a vlogger?
Come in, brother.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Yo, me I record scene, and it's like, I never see this in my life. A video work me doing now. It's like, on this phone, it's like the live feed. I don't know if you can see. It's like the live feed of the camera going onto the phone right now. And brother, technology crazy, brother, like. And it's like, man, I try to look on it, for looking at the camera. For looking at the camera, for look on it. It's bad, man. But, you're Etan, you're large. And if you can see it in my friend them, but the one thing up. So all them where I use them LCD screen, this one I using phone. I can stop the recording, watch how me stop it. This bad. I'll start back the recording now. We dare talk to the people then. It's bad.
Alright.
Relax. Oh! Fully yarding.
Oh, we're recording already.
You see me?
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, I was doing some pre-recording.
Oh.
Geeking out.
Yo.
Yes, we have that footage.
So I'm just going to explain everything right here, right now, what I'm doing and everything, right? Yo, I'm shooting a documentary, right? About finding your mental health in Jamaica.
Finding it.
Yes. Finding. Isn't it? Because one of the things that inspired me to do this is because since I started getting a lot of followers on TikTok,
yeah,
a lot of foreigners are like, yo, Jamaica's beautiful.
It is.
Why do you leave? Why do you leave? You see me? So people them, I'm here with my brethren from Arden High School. You see me? Yo, introduce yourself. I can't do it.
We can't.
No, Jemar.
So I'm Jemar McFarlane. Sometimes I like sweep up the floor at at studios in the night.
Don't be modest.
No. Yeah, I'm a filmmaker and a musician on the side, but mainly a filmmaker, you know, trying to make it in this world, make some movies, you know, nothing too serious. Don't know, say a blockbuster thing for everything there. But anyways,
right.
Enough about me.
Right.
Yes.
No. It's not even enough. It's not enough about you. Is it because I already have enough of myself on this video?
That's true. That's very true.
I went to a psychotherapist and got a session on camera.
Oh, you did it?
On camera. That's going to be posted.
And they're fine with that.
Yeah, they're fine with that. Of course. They are the content. But I'm here to talk to you, brother, because I know that you are open with your own struggles, your journey in mental health. Like, talk to me, tell me what.
So my thing is, you know, as a creative, which is, it's a blessing and a curse.
Mm-hmm.
I have what's called bipolar type 1.
Bipolar type 1.
Yeah, on medication for it. But basically, some people think you know what bipolar is, but it's like, it's more complicated. So yes, you get your mood swings, you get your highs and lows, your high energy. But it's two types. You have type 1, which is like the manic side, which is my side. So it's like one cocaine. Our brain is making our own cocaine, and we're just going. We don't need to sleep, we don't need to eat, we're creative, and then we kind of get crazy. Our ideas not making sense. We get delusions, just maybe hallucinations as well. It gets pretty wild.
Right.
For example, I might think I have superpowers and try to jump off a building. One time I ran straight from Spanish Town to Kingston.
Wait, you serious?
I'm dead ass, bro. That's how it works. My case is particularly severe. So some people, you might just get like emotional spills, but my episode is like some Christopher Nolan movie type shit, like Shutter Island, some Inception stuff.
Yeah.
So I would think I can control time, and everybody would seem to freeze when I look at my watch.
Only when me frust it up.
Isn't me? But my brain will naturally frust me like that. So I gotta be on meds to keep that down, because it's just a chemical imbalance in the brain.
Yeah.
Really simple concept. And all reality is just what we're seeing, what we're feeling, what we're perceiving. Right? So our brain, if it's not managing the chemicals properly and there's too much of one, then you can start perceive differently. So that white wall might not look white. It might look like it bleeding. Ooh. Okay. You know, we're getting wild, but it's just a dumb way of explaining it. So it's a very complex disease, and it's something that I've had to struggle with. And I recently got a hold of it, a couple of years now, no episodes, nothing wild happening. Simple lifestyle shift, paying attention to my mental health, finding what that is, what works for me. And ever since, it's been more a blessing than a curse, because I'm more creative than the average person.
Right.
Tap into more crazy ideas than the other person.
Right. I want to ask you about your perspective on how much do you think Jamaica generally pays attention to mental health?
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's not like a 5. You have a lot of people, you'd think that they're paying attention, but there's a lot of fluff. Like, people are doing it for campaigns, and then they forget about it.
Yeah.
I think we could be doing a lot more, especially I'm a man who got through the system, so I've been to Ward 21.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've seen what it's like. It's really ugly currently in terms of our public health system.
Right.
Not really managing it properly. And it's just for a lack of resources, but also just the public, the way the public perceive mental health is just like a madman on the road.
Right.
So I'll give you a situation. I was having an episode one time, and them just think say I was mad and I trouble youth. So them decide so them I go bust my jaw. So like, middle of the night, I'm manic, you know, I'm in the middle of an episode, they don't know, they just assume that, this youth is just a troublemaker, so like we just bust him jaw and just take up a piece of wood and just clap me. Like, I currently have metal plates in my jaw.
You still have pictures of it?
Do I? I should. I probably should. No, my face was like, we need this. I'll see if I can find it. Brother, crazy, bro. And it's just like, if people simply knew what it was, I'm sure they would have said, something wrong with the youth.
Right.
We're not to beat it.
Right.
You know, so that's just the battle word. So I thought we're doing good until that point, and I realized, it's a long way to go. And I need to be more responsive, obviously. At the time I came off my meds, and that's on me. But also, if we had a more educated society.
The fact that it's stigmatized.
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem.
Right. So can I ask you, as a man in Jamaica, combined with your bipolar type 1, as a man in Jamaica, do you feel as if you have how am I asking this question?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you can express yourself without being judged as a man in Jamaica?
If you get what I mean? If I was a regular youth, I would have said no. But because of my experience and life experience, I'm just like, yo, screw it, I'm gonna express myself regardless. But there was a time when I was scared to express it, and many people might be feeling that way because of how people are perceiving it. I think now it gets a little easier for people to talk, people like me and you have the conversation nowadays. Yeah. So this is actually helping, but it kind of rough, especially as a man, like, especially with the girls them, you know what I mean, how they would perceive you as a man. Like, see something on Twitter the other day, one girl that said, "We are crying for your batty boys."
All right.
Sorry,
we're going. No. We're using that because I plan to like take her like meme and then I'm like reverb it and make it echo. Because like no, like because this is that meme. As much as a joke that she may have taken it for a joke, I took it and I'm like, yo, people actually men's like this in Jamaica.
Yeah, no, them serious. She are joking, but them serious, man. Imagine man out there can't ball. I feel like that's why I have so much murder, suicide going on. Right. Man, them just buckle up. Bills need to pay, picnic, and she have game bone. The man go mad, and you can't even ball about it. That maddening, brother, crazy, bro.
And then there are times when as a man in Jamaica trying to reason one another, brother, yo, thing good. You know, you don't know.
Everything good. That's why I always have to ask my brother then. A minimum of 3 times ask originally. You good? Yeah, man. Alright, but when you really go, that one, I'm good, man. Yeah, man, but what about? And then we get to the serious.
Right.
But 3 times we have to ask.
3 times.
Before we get to the serious issue. It's wild. But, youths like us, we have to kind of champion it because we can. Not everybody exposed or educated like we. Yeah. So it's a thing where I also can be so hard on people because it's just how them grow as well. It's our culture.
Right.
I'm just mad because I think about Jamaican people now. We just try to survive. So him just try and meds the money and the food and the pity them. If not have a time I think about it mentally. Not so comfortable.
Right.
So you're finding like affluent societies, first world countries, they're more comfortable, so they pay more attention to mental health.
Not to mention their upbringing as well.
Exactly.
Right.
We still are work on just I eat.
Right.
So
when mommy and daddy are stressed about eat.
Yeah, talk.
Them not business.
Yeah, talk about you feeling depressed.
You're depressed on your book.
It's just a reality, bro.
Right. No, for real though, but for real. It's and I said before when I started shooting this, especially with the fact that tourists come to Jamaica and they only see like visit Jamaica webpage and Sandals Hotel.
Yeah, man.
And North
White
Coast
sandy beaches,
and
man,
beaches.
jelly.
As a matter of fact, just the other day, I find out about like a glistening, luminous, bioluminous beach in St. Mary.
There's two Jamaica. There's the Jamaica we live in.
Yes.
And there's Jamaica you at home will come see when you spend up your money and go with. It's like there's a veil. There's like an invisible veil. Money make you cross it.
Right.
Like, me see the Sandals Couples Resort where they had that. I never knew we had that. The thing looked like Bora Bora. I mean, I say, no, that damn yard, I didn't even see it. But,
yeah. But brethren, respect for talking to, for giving me this time and, showing, telling me your story and everything.
Definitely.
Before we go, is there anything that you would want to, like, tell people then? Because I always tell them, yo, go to therapy.
Yes, that's very good. Because I heard the thing. We take it upon ourselves and we think that we can manage it. We're not professionals, especially if you have like a partner that's going through a mental health issue. Literally, what you need to do, you kind of bring them down to a stable level if you can. If it's an immediate situation, do what you can. But the next step, pass them on to a professional.
Right.
Link them family, link them friends. You can't take that upon yourself and say, oh, me, I'm going to save this person.
Right.
I'm going to fail. It's not a professional. I made that mistake.
Because how many teen therapists have we been to?
Yeah, man. Fully. Yo, bro, all you need to do, bro, is just pull up to our house with, like, food, dog. That's all you need to do. Bear that. It's not going to work.
Right.
But yeah, I love that message. Therapy, take the thing like a regular illness, like it's like diabetes. You need therapy, you need treatment. Just so happens that this medication is therapy. It can be more like physical medication, like for me, but it's also just therapy. Literally, one time my psychiatrist simply write down on a piece of paper, eat, sleep, rest. That's it.
Yeah.
That will work.
Yeah.
Any normal person that go without the basic necessities of sleep can also enter psychosis. So take care of yourself. You know what I mean?
Regine?
Yeah.
Respecting our brother.
Alright, that COVID.
Yo, no, wait.
Let's talk about suicide. Let's talk about the fact that suicidal thoughts do not have a face. Let's talk to someone who you wouldn't think would have a very real experience with this very dark topic. Let's talk to.
Okay. Well, I'm Julie Mango, and my legal name is Juliet Bodley, but everybody calls me Julie Mango. That's a nickname from my dad, right? And in the daytime, I work as an engineer, and in the nighttime, I'm a TikToker. Just kidding. But yeah, so I studied engineering at school, and I will get into that actually, because there's a whole story behind that. And then, so that's what I do during the days. But then my passion and my love is drama. I love the performing arts. I love putting on costumes and clowning out and just being free and uninhibited. Whilst I was studying, I was excelling at UTech, but my mental health was deteriorating. I tried to find validation with dating men, and when them say me not so righted, them leave, right? And because they kept on leaving, I started to think something definitely wrong with me then, right? I had no problem attracting, because they would see this joyous, this wonderful, bubbly personality, whatever. And then when they come on the inside now, where they get to see all the behind the scenes wrong stuff that's going on, they didn't have the strength to cope with all of this that's going on. Right? I remember at that time, people never even know, they couldn't even know if you say, you see, mental illness at that time wasn't a thing that you knew about. So them just think they're mad, right? And then would just leave, not as in cut me off or anything, but just to say, boy,
I can't even this.
right? Mm-hmm. And it is so funny, because if I needed any help from them with anything else, it was just, they're just a phone call away. So it's like from that, that made things worse. So they couldn't love me for me, but they would just do stuff for me. So it made me feel like, okay, yeah, something definitely wrong with me then. No, me need to go, me need to dead, right? So when I joined the JDF now, so that's like over the span of about 10 years, right? So it just did, my mental health deteriorated, and it solidified that I needed to commit suicide. The only thing that was preventing me is because I grew up in a Christian home, right? The thought of going to hell if you take your own life. But then I understood that if you do commit suicide, you don't necessarily go to hell. That's another story. And I know if somebody is watching this, they're going to say, yes, because it's a whole other different thing to discuss. So that now gave me ammunition. They said, what? But could I still go to heaven? Well, all right. But then there was just something that was saying, no, but it's still not right. But I wanted to kill myself. So when I joined the JDF now, and still having issues, I was performing at work, but I wasn't able to really perform. It's like I was in the wrong career. This is not really what I want to do. My life was just going in so many different directions. I had no sense of self, nothing like that, right? And then one night I just decided, all right, this is the moment. And I had a 2008 Toyota Corolla at the time, a brand new car. And I was driving from Falmouth Police Station to JDF Delta Company, and I was on the highway and I saw a truck coming, and I was like, this is it. So I yanked the steering to the right with the objective of hitting into the truck. I sped up to about 109.
Wait. Sorry for cut you, but usually over here, people attempt them something, and they're usually a bit more subtle with it, you know. Them take pills, you know, go to sleep on the pills. So, you know, you just decide to go full final destination.
Yes. And that was the first time. I did it 3 times. Not the car accident, but I did the attempt. But that was my first attempt. So right?
What happened there?
Yeah, so I sped up to about 190 kmh. Jamaican cars are in kilometers per hour, so 190. If it was mph, it would be 160, right? I sped up and then yanked the steering to the right with the intention of hitting into the truck. All I know is that the car flipped on the side, stayed away from the truck and into a ditch, and the truck. So when the car was about to turn, so I could see the truck lights going that way as if it's trying to avoid me. And then the car skate on the side, skate across the road. I end up in a ditch on the side of the road. No. When the car ended up in the ditch, I'm in the vehicle, and it landed back on 4 wheels. When the car ended up in the ditch, I'm in the vehicle. The car engine is still running. I'm like, shit, the car going to explode like in the movies. So me open up Because you know, when you watch movie and car make the accident explode after me, I say, no, so me don't want burn up, me didn't want crash, but me don't want burn up. And then so me say, I have to come out of this quick. So me open up the door and I run go down the road. I don't know where me I run go. And then by the time you know Jamaica, this is nighttime, but you know Jamaican people. Anyway, accidentally then the day.
Yeah.
But people start come out and them I say, where she I go? Oh God, she afraid. Come here. And them I call me if you say me if you stop run and then me say, oh shit, me leave my laptop in the car.
Your priorities all over the
Right? So me say no, but if me alive, me have to go buy back the people them laptop because it was a JDF laptop. So me say, this not right. So me turn back now, so me go collect the laptop out of the vehicle, and by the time me turn back now, the persons with the JDF, the rest of JDF workers were in a JDF bus behind me because we were going basically to where we sleep. They were behind me, and my best friend at the time, can I call his name? I would have to ask him first. I don't think he cares, but I'll leave it. My best friend at the time, he was a fellow officer and he knew I had my struggles, right? Because I used to come with my hand them freshly cut. As in, when I said deteriorate, me used to cut every day. So you would see me and you see a new pattern each day. And he would be like, he just can't understand. And he would have said, and he would even try to pray with me or something. As I said, your friends love you, but they have no idea how to help you. So by the time me run back now, him in the bus and him in the car. And him see me, and him said, tell the boss, stop. And him run out and said, Juliet, walk on. And I said, well, I was trying. And before I finish it, him start ball and say, I can't effing believe you. We spoke about this and you tried to kill it. And then my boss now came out and he's like, what happened here? And I'm like, oh, I fell asleep. And then he's like, okay, no problem. All right, that's fine. Let me call. I'll take care of it. Just go in the bus and go home. And I'll call the wrecker and the wrecker come and thing. And the wrecker came and took my car from Montego Bay to Kingston that same night at Toyota Jamaica. And no, sorry, they took it to Delta Company. And by that time, the whole of the soldier them know things say me fall asleep, but only
only a best friend can sense that.
Only my best friend knew that what I was trying to do. When I told my parents what happened now, so all of that it sort out. They got the car sold because everybody was very helpful. Because them think I saw me fall asleep, so they might try to help me out. So I got the car sold and I was able to get a new car, a new loan, everything sorted out on the practical side, right? As always, because people will help you, right? Never short of that. See? Then I told my parents what happened. Mommy never have no reaction because she don't know what to do. Daddy him start ball. Listen, Daddy will. I don't know where them get this thing when man no cry. Daddy is the most alpha male I know, but when him ready for ball, he will ball, right? So when me tell Daddy, say that really happened with the accident and I know, me did sleep. Man start ball and say, but Julie, why? I don't wanna, why? But and God created you. Look how you're beautiful. Look how you're pretty. And I say, yes, Dad, but I don't know how to know myself. And I never forget. I don't know how to love myself. And I never forget that he look at me and he say, you know how to love yourself. Yes, you know. And I'm like, Dad, if you say it more often, it doesn't make me know. He's like, stop it, man. So what I must do? What I must do? Tell me what I must do. I'm like, Dad, I don't know. And he's like, all right, we're going to carry you go to church. We're going to carry you go to church. Or we're going to pray for you. We're going to pray. And listen, me man, for about 3 years, he might carry me go to church. Me get deep and I'm not saying those things don't work, because I'm a firm believer in spiritual healing. Trust me, me dead upon that, yeah? Because I've been spiritual. I have experienced healing through that medium for other things, right? And him send me go church sister house to one night, must be 12 o'clock, and she call her church sister and them pray down Babylon for about 3 hours. And them cast out this your demon and then cast out that they one day and them and that didn't help. So then I just tried to commit suicide again. Then time there I was living at in Mona. I was working now, full-blown adult now, 28. Right? And I drank a bottle of Pine Sol, hoping that it would poison me. So I pass out on the floor. My landlord lives across from me. And him always I walk through because me always I forget to pay him rent. But him not really rough still. Him just say, okay, when you're ready, because I like an old man with like an old wife. See? And so the door, I don't know what happened, but the door must have was ajar or something, and he was walking by, and I think he wanted to say hello or something like that because the door was slightly open. He bust the door open and see me flat out on the ground pass out. Right? He called the neighbor to come help him, lift me up, put me in Toyota Prado. Yes, a white one, and carry me to UE. When me go UE now, then pump out the whole of me stomach with charcoal, what's it.
Yep.
Then I psych, and then my best friend right, who was my best friend in high school, she was one of the people who was trying to help me in high school, but she never know. I don't know how people just always find out. My friend them just ever find out when things happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all I know is that she reached from Mandeville Ayui by the time he opened my eye, right? And she said, Juliet, what is going on? Everybody's like, what's going on? And I don't know. And the psychiatrist came, because they give you a psychiatric evaluation, and the psychiatrist asked me if I'm hearing voices. So I said, yeah. But I never mean voices in my head. I meant I was hearing her voice. But anyway, upon answering that now, my girl admit me to Ward 21. In Ward 21, the first day, that was the worst experience on earth. Reason being, they put me in a room with somebody who was having hallucinations, and they were talking to whoever they're seeing all night. So me dead here just because of depression. No, I don't have no hallucination. My thing was different from hers, and they put me in that depressive state. Plus the bathroom was horrible. The bathroom seat never have no seat, and people poop all over the place where you're supposed to bathe it full of grunage and feces and stuff. Listen, I never even bathed. At the first in my life, me wake up, I don't want to bathe. Right? And that just made me feel worse. And me just did it. I mean, now move to the left, not to the right. And they said, they have to put you on a 72-hour hold. Then now my mother come on the second day and said, listen, I'm taking my daughter out here. Right? So that was so she took me back to Mandeville and said, go and spend 2 weeks down by your father. Because my father lives on a farm, and everybody think that if you live on a farm, it can help with your mental health. So I got up on it 2 weeks, that never helped. That was the second time. The third time, I did just take some sleeping pills, end up back at UE hospital, then pump it up with charcoal, but they never admit me this time because I tell them that it was an accident. So come and start milk the system now, come and know what I'm gonna do. And I don't want to be locked up in no ward, right? So those are the three of them. Now, why somebody would say to me, you would wonder, so what, Juliet, why you're allowing all of these things to happen to you for so many years? Reason is because of the stigma. I was ashamed of it. When men would come into my life and leave because of it, the mean things that they would say, because you have some men who are good, you have some men who are jerks. And the ones them who are jerks would say, Lord, you're mad, you need to get help, get off me, whatever. And they would scorn me and literally ostracize me and have the worst things to say about me, right? The men who are actually good would hang around as my friend, and then I couldn't understand, if you can be my friend, why can't you be with me? But them don't understand what's going on either, so them just stay as my friend because of course, if they have that genuine love and care for me, they're not going to just cut me off, right? And that's why I have so many friends even now, but I still could not understand. And then people would have there was this guy at the JDF, right? He must have heard, I don't know what he heard about me and some guy that broke up, and he started to spread rumors that I go around and throw stones after men. The whole of JDF, and I'm like, what? So people will take creative authority on your story and just spread rumors about you and just be mean. So it is the stigma that caused me to not seek help, because I was thinking that something wrong with me, and it's either me dead or I shape up. I need to shape up and stop acting like this, right? So I never go to no therapy. When I was 21, I actually did go to a psychiatrist that he finally managed to realize, say, oh, me need to go psychiatrist. And he is a At 27, I was 21, he was 27 at the time, the psychiatrist. And he tell me, he said, I have borderline personality disorder. And I'm like, no, I don't. You're the problem. Bye. I'm fine. Right? Because I don't want to be, I don't want to have that. I don't want to have a mental illness. I don't want to have any of that. I don't want to have depression because it's abnormal and people will laugh at you and tease you and scorn you and mock you. And even in corporate Jamaica, if you're telling me you have a mental health issue, them think you're gone mad. It's not like if you have diabetes, they're like, oh wow, what your insulin you're gonna get, make sure you do. No, it's a total different reaction. It's more of an they're quick to ostracize you. So that's why I did not get help. So now fast forward to me moving to the US, where I was away from the environment where the stigma is extremely strong. You know, America, they hate no stigma around mental health. What I found is that the stigma is literally not there. And so even though my therapist, the therapist that is helping me now and help me through this, she is Jamaican, right? Because I had to talk to somebody who could understand when I'm speaking. I can't be there talking to a therapist and I can't break out in patois. So my therapist is Jamaican. It's just that I was in an environment where there is no stigma. So I was able to, the noise around me, there was no more noise. It was quiet and I was able to hear what she was saying. When she said, okay, she recommends I go on medication for a short period of time, I was like, okay, well, nobody here not going to laugh after me if them see me taking pills at lunchtime. I guess it's okay. And then after a while, now I realized that I'm fine.
Yeah.
And this is not my destiny to be sick every day.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, light bulb. There are so many people in Jamaica that suffer in the same way that I did.
Yes.
There are people there's this girl that she committed suicide on Flatbridge. Beautiful girl. Mm-hmm. And people surprised. There is a guy that I knew from high school. He committed suicide. Everybody surprised. People are always surprised after you commit suicide. You know, there's oh my gosh, he was such a good guy. Yeah, he was. What did you do to help him?
Yeah, because people think that depression has a face.
It does not.
Right.
So that sums it up into why I am so connected to mental health and I am passionate about breaking the stigma of mental health in Jamaica. I want people to know that it's not your destiny, it's not your portion. If you're depressed and if you're suicidal today, you don't have to be suicidal tomorrow. There is hope. You can get help and it's just an illness just like any other. If you have to take medication, well, you're not gonna tell your diabetic grandmother that she should come off her insulin. You're gonna give her insulin. But if you need medication for your mind, take your pill them a morning time.
Right.
So that's it in a nutshell.
I just want to say you are phenomenal. You really did, you know. Some of the other questions I had, I'm like, yo, she answered that. I'm mad. I was going to like, yeah, you have a sound off, something you want. People, you just did that a while ago. I said, mad. You know.
And with that, I still go to therapy. Even when I'm not in Jamaica, I set up some online sessions with my therapist. And even though this started as content for this channel, I can now say that I definitely have a therapist who I can trust. And I have a therapist who I can speak to about anything. Now, this is just me trying to normalize therapy and show you guys how important this is. You see, the thing about therapy, it doesn't end just because I spoke to my therapist one time. Healing is hard. Recovering from trauma is difficult. There's still homework to be done outside of your therapist's office. And my therapist, Kareen, she gave me homework. She told me that I needed to write 3 letters to the sources of my trauma. So I wrote one to you, Mom, Dad, and lastly, to a young lady who has been the Christina to my chronics. I've been in pain for almost 3 years, and I did not know that until I started making this video. I had to learn how to forgive my parents and to let go. To my viewers, I apologize that I took this long to release this video, but I had to make my mental health a priority. So I hope everything good, and if not, know that you can make everything better.